Hello and welcome, and in this video I'm going to show you how to bring HK Foot Placement into HDRP. Alright, so I've imported the Khan folder, and that's what we get when we get the HK Foot Placement package. And then you have the main demo, which you can open up in HDRP. It's all pinked up, and we've got two errors as well. So first, we're going to go into the layers and select the preset that's coming inside with the package. Next, I want to go right here and duplicate this code line in the fadeaway decal and change it to high definition. Alright, so now the script should compile. Now we can convert these to standard by just clicking onto standard first, and then use the rendering shortcuts to convert selected built-in to HDRP. And that's going to convert it to the HDRP. We can do the same for, well, actually, for the terrain. You need to create another terrain to get a reference to the material that is supposed to be assigned, and just drag it in there. Alright. Now I'm going to convert this to standard by just clicking on it, and then changing it into HDRP by using the built-in material to HDRP converter. And then it creates for us a few mask maps as well. You might notice the scene's a bit odd, but I'm not actually pretty proficient in HDRP, so doesn't matter about that. What actually matters is it works, which is what is going to happen actually. The demo scene is a bit black because I don't have much knowledge about HDRP itself. I usually work on just URP. There's something wrong with the lighting. I'm not sure how to fix it. Probably whoever you're watching will know that. So anyway, just messing about the light to get it working, but just wanted. Alright, just hit play and see how it works. So there's a strip missing on the camera, which is literally just the universal camera edition script. And I'm just going to fix the footstep issue now. So for decal L and for decal R, then we can create a HDRP decal projector, and we can see what the shader is required to make this work. So let's move to this. We have HDRP decal. So just make this work with HDRP and decal. Alright, now we can assign the textures just like that, like this. Alright, now I can pass this in. Now for some reason this is looking very odd and fade because something is wrong with the material settings. Maybe the fade factor. Here, so I'm just going to try to change the color. Well, that didn't change anything. So the problem was with the global opacity. We can make that up to 1. And now we can see the full black color of the decal. I'm going to install URP to get the older universal render pipeline assets showing up the settings of the previous foot decal. That way I can copy the settings into the newer one. So, alright, so we got universal render pipeline, and that's why we can see this shader stuff appearing. And now, so the decals will stop saying missing strip reference issues. But yes, but we don't want to switch the renderer, of course. That's not the point of the tutorial. The tutorial's point is to make it work in HDRP itself. So now we got the settings, we can paste them into this. Firstly, the start fade is supposed to be 0.7, and that doesn't change anything, so we just change the fade factor in real time to 0.7. Alright, and then we also just assign the start fade also to 0.7 just in case. Next, we drag that as a prefab outside so we can do it easily. Pass in the width, paste the height, and the projection depth. Nice. So we can see exactly the same thing here, and we can see the same, decal exact effect just in HDRP's decal projector as well. And the pivot also needs to be changed, as the previous one usually would update automatically, but I may be not updating, or maybe I pasted it so it wasn't updating automatically. Anyway, we got the pivot also correctly set up. Now we duplicate the left one and change the material and name it as an R instead of the left one. So now we can create 2 parents for this one, just like the previous decal structure, which is to use the decal to face downwards. And that's why we create 2 parents for this, decal L and decal R. And then I'm just going to rename both the other ones back to decal projectors and drag them correctly as child. So which one is the right one and left one? We put them correctly by checking the texture of each projector. This is the right one, so that's the left one. All right. Now we can just give them the correct orientation to face downwards, and you can see that the decal is perfectly on the ground and nicely aligned as well. So that means that we can start using it now as soon as we want. So we can replace the older URP version of the decals because this is what we need for HDRP to show up the decals. We're gonna go here and change them in the classic most expandable clips data system based on a scriptable object. There we are. So now we should be able to see effects perfectly spawned at the correct feed position. Actually, before we do that, we just want to add the nice fade away effect. And actually, this didn't work nicely, so we're gonna go into them individually and give them the correct references and try it out. So here we are, and it does create the nice little decal effects, and it looks really nice, and it's working for HDRP as well as the fade as well. However, you'll see these pink particles, they're not working with HDRP because they didn't find their shader. And if you notice this feed is a bit digging, that's because the FPS is really bad, and that's just too bad for anything to work. And that's why you'll see that the third-person control is also a bit delayed. I'm trying to, and it's flipping, I don't know why. So just make sure to have a good FPS. Of course, 25 FPS is unacceptable. Anyway, just apply the prefabs. Now that's because I don't know much about the HDRP itself, otherwise it's much better. I'm sorry, that's a mistake. The camera can't be applied because it's the machine type. And now we can go into the outdoor scene and just to see how it looks without having all those lights and issues that we were having in the previous scene. We create a simple plane for the testing and drag in the main prefab, which you would usually do for your game, or that would be just for testing. Actually, you would add the foot placement components and enable the IK pass and all the other stuff that you simply have to do to get to work really quickly. For testing, we drag in this whole setup and then we try it out. And yes, it does work, but still have those pink things spawning. So I'm just gonna fix this thing by going inside it, then going here. I'm going to create a new particle effect in the HDRP to see what material it assigns to it by default. And is the default HD particle material. So let's do that. To give that, I'm just gonna lock it and then going to open up the prefab. Then I can select this again. There it is. I can see the whole name, so now I won't forget it. And just assign it directly inside, well, actually on top of it. Now if we hit play, just remove the camera and the old particle system I created for testing, and now we can see our guy, and it's doing the perfect thing. So these effects are literally just not production ready. I didn't find much that I could use, but this looks really good just to show how it works. Actually, that's all I'm showing, and that's why it's assigned as a default, fallback type effect. So we're getting still like just 38 FPS and 40 FPS, which is, well, SGRP always performs really fast, I guess. But at least it's working. That's the main job of this video, and it's doing exactly what we are looking for. So hopefully you will be happy with it in this render pipeline as well. So we remove the built-in render pipeline support because it's about to be deprecated anyway. Right, so that's why. Now we can remove the universal render pipeline and delete that asset that it created automatically for us, so that we don't have the URP footmarks anywhere. Alright, remove the script that was additionally added for the camera, and actually to fix this we need to apply it in the prefab. Go ahead and just remove it there. The unused over, I just want to do something with that, yeah? I'll remove it. Now we can go inside it and still have everything applied. So it's just like HK Foot Placement, but now it's all in HDRP with a bit of bad lighting, which is something that's not my problem anyway, because I got the foot placement and effects and everything else working. Yeah, but the other character is also walking. As you'll see, I'm going really fast. because the video is a bit sped up, I guess. Anyway, so we got everything working, and I'll see you in the next video. Now, what you need to do is subscribe, and if you not got this foot placement package, it's the next gen foot placement as well. So just make sure to get it for yourself before it goes, above some more price, because it's gonna be getting a lot of more updates. See ya.